All right, welcome back. Let me pull into Logic really quick. So what I wanted to just show you guys is a little bit about compression, more on compression. This is like a deep dive into just what compression does at the basic level. So what I have here is a spectrogram, a compressor, and a sine wave generator. So what this is going to do is going to show you guys exactly what the compressor, each compressor is doing to the audio signal. If any of you guys are familiar with harmonics or just frequencies in general, you know that humans usually can hear from about 20 hertz all the way up to 20,000 hertz. And pretty much every sound that we hear throughout the day is made up of these frequencies that vibrate at a certain what is it called? Period, basically. So we got 20 hertz, vibrates 20 times per second, all the way up to 20,000 hertz, which vibrates 20,000 times per second. So that's how we measure frequency, audio, and just in a basic sense. So what this is going to do is show exactly what the compressor is adding to each frequency. So what I have here is a test tone oscillator. It's set at 1,000 hertz. This is just, one specific frequency that's vibrating at 1,000 times per second. So we'll bring this test oscillator in, and then we're going to put the compressor on that oscillator. So let's check this out. So as you can see here, we got 1 kilohertz tone that's coming through, no other frequencies. This compressor here is on. Let's switch it off. Not much of a change, right? So that means this compressor is extremely transparent. So if you're looking for a transparent sound, definitely go for something like this. So we're going to switch through all these different types of compressors just to show you what they do to the signal. So switch to the VCA. You can see here we got some odd ordered harmonics here. Just a little bit more top end being added, saturation to your signal. So let's go to Studio FET. Got a little bit more harmonics there being added to the signal. So keep this in mind. This is what's being added to just one frequency. Imagine a whole vocal going through this compressor. It's going to be adding a lot of character to your mix. So cool. Let's go to the VCA. This one is, less harmonics. This might sound a little bit smooth, but also give you more character. And this is just on the basic setting, not even 4 decibels of reduction. So we got the VCA, we got a different character there. You can see what it's adding to that sine wave. This FET, this one has the potential to add a lot of character to your mix. Look at everything it's adding to this one frequency, right? So we bypass this compressor, and you can see here once we put it on, we're adding even some subharmonics in there, so a little bit of low end as well. So let's crank this up a little bit. Crank the ratio up, threshold down a little bit, more attack, quick release there. So you can see here, this compressor is really going to color the signal. So imagine, a voice is made up of thousands and thousands and thousands of different frequencies. We just put one frequency through this compressor, and this is what it did to it. Turned one frequency into, tons. So let's crank it all the way up and see. There we go. So crank the ratio all the way up. It's basically adding white noise to the mix. So let me actually, I'm hearing a little explosion in my ears, so let me put this pop filter. Cool. So yeah, you see what this compressor is adding to, compared to what this compressor adds at the same with the same parameters, right? So it's only adding a little itty bitty bit of harmonics to the signal compared to this here. That's crazy. It's like just white noise basically. Cool. So let's go to our FET and then our OPTO, and you can see here the different harmonics that it's adding. So whenever you put a compressor on any source, usually it's going to change the way that it sounds. It's going to EQ it. It's going to add a little bit of distortion, a little bit of harmonics, maybe a small amount of saturation. So keep that in mind. And then, I say this all the time, just go through every plugin you have, even like the EQs. We got this vintage collection in Logic. We can set the drive all the way up. Excuse me. And I'm really curious to see what this one does. Actually, I never tested this one. So let's put our oscillator on. Cool. So you can see here what this EQ, just an EQ, is adding. I'm not even boosting any signal or anything. I'm just adding drive on the output. And even without the drive, right? So putting this EQ, just putting the EQ on your signal, on whatever signal you have, is going to add even order harmonics to your signal. And that's just putting the EQ on. That's not even man, that's crazy. That's not even, it's not even engaged. Like these bands are not engaged. It's just putting the EQ on, right? So imagine what it's going to do to the signal, to your voice, that's made up of thousands and thousands of different frequencies, as opposed to just this one that we're working with. So yeah, just go through your plugins, get an analyzer. You don't have to have one that's fancy like this. You can just use, honestly, you could just use any analyzer, even an EQ. If you don't have any analyzers, if you have an EQ that has an analyzer, you can use that too. So you can see our little frequency here. And if we add drive, we should be able to see. Actually, let's boost. We're going to boost the level here on the EQ just so we can see the harmonics down there. So cool. You can see there what's being added to the signal with that drive. Man, that's crazy. So yeah, so shout out to Todd Childress. He's my mentor and my teacher and my boss. He's showed me this little technique just to analyze different plugins in your DAW just to see what it's doing to the audio. So this will give you a better idea of what plugins to go for certain things. If you know you want a very transparent compression sound, you can go towards that blue compressor. If you know you want to add some character to a guitar, or if you want to add some character to the vocals, to the background vocals or the main vocal, you'll go towards another compressor. So you won't be stumbling around trying to figure out which tools you need to use once you get more familiar with the tools that you have. So yeah, that was all the stock stuff. So I'm a big pusher of using stock sounds and stock plugins. I just recently got new plugins about a month ago, so I'm a big proponent of using the stock stuff. But yeah, so that's kind of all I wanted to go through today. I'm working on this new track, having some issues with the sibilants, just de-essing the vocal. So I might get back on here and do another video showing this session, but I just wanted to go over that compression for today. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions about anything or any advice on streaming. I'm just trying to get better at the whole process. So if you have any advice or just any thoughts, put them in the comments, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later.